bada boom. Okay, so a lot of you guys have been wondering the order types I've been using as of recently, and it's changed over the years. Okay, when I first started trading, I used simply just market orders. Just that's it. Um, and it didn't work. It didn't last long because I realized I was leaving a lot of profit out on the table on the buy and sell side, and I was just getting such poor fills. I'm like, dude, like it's so hard to profit. It feels because like, whatever I buy, dang near half my profit's gone from my fills. Okay, and it just was super frustrating all the time. Okay, and then I then switched to limit orders, and in particular, stop limit orders I used on my trading ladder. It was called a trading ladder on Thinkorswim. A lot of traders, like in our academy, when I was switching brokers, were like, I need a ladder. Like a ladder is important. I was even that way for a little while, but I said, you know what? I need to find alternate methods of trading because a lot of the professionals I know, they don't use a price ladder. And I'm like, okay, there's got to be something wrong here. What am I missing? And the thing is, there's two types of traders. I talk about this in a lot of group lessons. There's makers, there's takers of liquidity. Now, if I share my screen, um, you can see that this is my level 2. Every order on my level 2 is a maker of liquidity. They are providing liquidity. Okay, so this order, 20,000 share buy order here, that just got filled, was a maker of liquidity. That is simply put, they're putting a limit order on the bid, hoping that the price will go down and fill their order. It's not a guarantee. That's why they are provided with rebates because they do not always get filled. Therefore, if they're provided with rebates or something, there's incentive to be a maker. Because if there's no rebates, there's no incentive to be a maker because everyone would just take liquidity off the table and it would be dang near impossible for these stocks to move because there's no liquidity pool, so to speak. And so what I realized is, well, I'm a taker. You know, I take liquidity. I'm not a huge maker unless I really want to be. And the reason I say that is if I show you my how my stream deck here, you can see I have custom built orders. Okay, looks like this. Let me go full cam on you guys. Full cam, oh yeah. Okay, so this is my current setup. It's subject to change. Okay, I have buy 1,000 shares all the way to buy 5,000 on the side. I have sell 1,000, works for shorting too, all the way to sell 5,000 on the bid. I have cancel order. I have flatten on the sell side, flatten on the buy side, and then over here I have my market open orders. Now, the orders I use are this, or is this. We go to settings, go to, those are hotkeys, keyboard. So if we look at my custom orders, you can see if I edit my custom order, they are LSPT orders on the ask with a 5 cent a share discrepancy. Okay, let me go back. Now LSPT is simply the Lightspeed orders. Lightspeed orders have cheaper commissions. They're about half the commissions of a NASDAQ order, but the reason I have to use NASDAQ orders is because Lightspeed orders don't work in pre market. Only NASDAQ orders work pre market. So that's the reason why I have buy 2000 ask open. It's an LSPT order, so when I'm trading the open, I switch to these orders. Now, and the reason why I have a 5 cent a share discrepancy on the ask side and on the bid side is because as I'm buying stocks moving up, if I were to simply just buy on the ask, by the time I click buy, say I'm buying a stock at for the break of $1, and I click buy, it's going to try to fill me right at the ask at $1. But what it's not going to do is when that stock gets to be 101, 102, and I wasn't the lucky SLB that got filled at 1, I'm going to miss that move 10 out of 10 times. So you're like, well, why don't you use market orders? Well, market orders are much slower to filling. Okay? So if you have an ask order with a 5 cent share discrepancy, it's going to, because you have the order placed, it's going to fill you not always 5 cents above the ask. It's going to fill you, say, I put the order in at $1. Okay, so my it is buy ask 105 technically. It's not going to fill me at 105. It's going to fill me at the best possible price point of 102, 101. Maybe some 103s in there. But what it's not going to do is it's not going to be a market order, because market orders are used to fill the gaps in the maker and taker portion of liquidity. And what I mean by that is a market order, simply put, is going to wait, okay? Because you got to think, buy ask limit orders, sell ask limit orders, they're trading hands. Market orders aren't just always putting the shares on the ask to buy. They're waiting. There's a sense of like a pausing. It's micro, very micro, and then it fills you. Because as the stock moves higher, the software has to catch up and fill you on the ask. And if the stock keeps moving up, it's going to keep chasing the ask until it fills you. Okay? So market orders aren't always the best orders. Market orders are slow. Market orders are going to fill you at the worst possible price point. I mean, that is literally, by definition, a market order is to fill you at the worst possible price point, but to guarantee your fill. That's what it is. That's literally what it is. The worst possible price point. So I do buy ask with a 5 cent share slippage, and the cool thing about that is if you trade pre-market as much as I do, I trade a lot of pre-market. Okay. You'll know that market orders don't work. And some of the scariest things about trading pre-market is you cannot use market orders. So you can't use flatten orders, you can't use certain cancel orders. And the reason for that is market orders simply don't work pre-market. You have to use limit orders. But with a limit order, with a 5 cent share discrepancy, it almost always guarantees the fact that you are going to be filled at the price point you want, and you can use them pre-market. So it's pretty cool. Now, here's the thing. If I am trading, you'll see I have an extra row. I have an extra row of orders. If you click over one more time, I have an extra row. And the extra row is actually flip-flopped. And that is because I have a whole row of custom-built orders for providing liquidity. And you're like, well, Jason, I thought you're a taker, not a maker. Well, I'm a maker when I want to be. And when I say that is if I'm holding a big position and I know the stock, say, is at 305, I'm like, this stock's going to reach 310. With the buying pressure, it's going to reach 310. Those are my price targets. I'm pressing sell, ask, 5 plus 5. So what I'm doing is I'm actually becoming a maker of liquidity, and I'm selling on the ask, and I'm getting a better fill, and I'm squeezing out more profit. The reason why I don't always do that is because it's riskier. Because if that hits 305, 307, 308, and then, actually, my those orders are 3 cent a share discrepancy, not 5. 5 was too aggressive. If it goes through, say I put my order at 305, now my order's at 308, and it goes 305, 306, 307, and it doesn't fit my order and keeps going down, and then now I'm dragging my order down, and it's like, man, why didn't I just sell at 305? That's happened before. So being a maker in liquidity does have a decent amount of risk to it, but you can make and squeeze out a whole lot more profit. So point is, if you are confident on the setup, if you know there's, it's, your price target's here or whatever, press those sell orders on the ask. Because what you're going to do is the market's going to be like, okay, this guy's a maker of liquidity. Let's rebate him some commissions. Let's also get him a better fill. Let's fill him. However, if you're finding that selling on ask is not filling your order, because by the time you click sell, it's starting to go back down, then you might want to switch back to what I do, which is being a taker of liquidity. And the reason for that is I would rather guarantee my fill and lose 1 to 2 pennies a share every time I buy than not guarantee my fill and not make 1 to 2 pennies a share. Because if you do the math, say it doesn't fill your share, it drops 10 pennies a share, and you lose 10 cents a share. Well, if you lose 2 cents a share per trade, anyways, it only has to happen one in every 5 trades to be equivalent, and it's way less frustrating just getting filled at a worse price than putting your order in, waiting for it to get filled, and then the stock dumping. So that's why I have 2 orders, and I flip flop between them. When a stock breaks out of a psychological level, that's when I become a maker because I'm very confident it's going to reach that next level. Um, if I'm trying to buy for the high day break, I'm not using bid orders. I'm using ask orders because I want to make sure I'm getting filled before the break. Okay, so that is the lesson on orders. I know it can be very confusing. There's makers, there's takers, there's bid, there's ask, there's market, there's limit. And the question's like, okay, well, how do you stop out? Do you use stop losses? No, I use mental stop losses, so I know, okay, if it hits this price point, I will click sell all. It takes more discipline. However, it's easier in my opinion because you don't get stopped out on wicks. If you want to move your stop loss up, mentally it's easier. And it's just you don't have to create an order cancels order bracket or an OCO bracket. It can be very annoying. Um, so that's why I don't use stop losses, so to speak. Does anyone have any questions as far as today's lesson goes, as far as orders and what orders I use? Again, I have a question. What are good ways to trade as a day trader using single account under 25K? Sticking to one strategy, um, and only trading picture perfect setups on that strategy, and that's it. So you're only day trade 3 times a week. If I was under a PDT account, I would have already taken 2 trades for the week because ASST and FWBI were 2 picture perfect setups on the day. It's there's no secret sauce to growing an account. It's under PDT. It's simply just sticking to picture perfect setups, and no trade days are better than a small green day. Honestly, when it comes to growing an account like that, I'll say it again. No trade days are often better than like a very small green day. Okay, so um, alrighty, guys. If there's no more questions on the orders I use and how I use them, it's a hard concept to grasp, like the maker and taker portion. It's a hard concept to grasp, like how I'm using my orders. It can be different because some of you guys are trading on Thinkorswim, and those pre-built orders suck, and you can't really use those. When I was at TOS, I didn't do this. When I'm on, now I'm on Lightspeed, I do this. But that's just some of the complications of some because you can't create custom orders, and custom orders are lethal when it comes to order entry and exit speed. It is. So that's why I have them all on my Stream Deck. I might make some custom Stream Decks and sell them on the website if you guys are interested. I don't know if I should or not. I don't know if there's really demand there. Um, or I could see if Stream Deck want to do a partnership. Or I could just maybe do a giveaway for some of them. That'd be cool. As long as cash available, you can. What do you mean by that? Hold on, my wife's calling. Do I have YouTube trading videos? I do. I have over 200. One second, guys. Sorry, always answer my wife calls. As long as cash available, you can. So, well, are you using a cash account or using a margin account? Because if you're using a cash account, you know, When I grew my first account, I used margin. All my small account challenges are always margin accounts. And now that I'm connected to offshore broker, even if I wanted to do a small account challenge, I can, and PDT no longer applies to me, which is pretty cool. PDT law screws traders, literally. It's ridiculous. But I can't. I actually can't stand it. Very annoying. Alrighty, guys, I'm gonna head out for the day. Almost 5K in the day. Wow, we are just killing it lately. 14K in the week. Picture perfect setups. I traded poorly today and I still made 5K, so I guess I'm decently pleased with that. But alrighty, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to direct message me. Here for your success. We'll be here first thing tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. EST. Let's lock in some more profit. What do y'all say? Alrighty, guys, have an excellent day. Peace out, team.